Hey, what's going on, everybody? Ryan Knuppel here, Noob Sports Show, episode 163. I'm excited that you're here listening to us today. Thanks for giving us a little bit of your time and talking sports, talking regulated sports betting. Today, we're talking a little bit of compliance with our special guest, who I'll introduce here in just a few minutes. But hope you guys are doing well. Everybody that's paying attention here, lots going on in the world of sports and sports betting. Following the NBA playoffs, lots going on in the NBA right now as well. But hey, let's get down to business today. We love to have special guests, leaders, people in this industry who are doing great things. And I got the honor and pleasure to meet this individual. Oh man, it might have been a month ago. And I'm excited now to have him on the show and to introduce him and what he's doing to our guests as well. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Eric Frank, the CEO of Odds On Compliance. Eric, thanks for being here.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me, Ron.
Hey, doing really well. You know what? It was a pleasure to meet you back. I think it was at the SBC gathering down in South Florida, where you're residing, right? You're down that way.
Yeah, so I'm down in South Florida. We got an exciting game tonight. Hopefully the Heat will bring it home, but should be good.
Yeah, it's been an exciting NBA playoffs. At least you have a team to follow here in Orlando. Magic didn't quite pan out, and they're just like the doormat of the NBA right now. They're really But anyway, it was a pleasure to meet you at that event, and we got to talking, and really I love what you're doing with Odds On Compliance, and we're going to dive in and talk about what that is and what you guys offer and where you're headed. But first, Eric, tell me a little bit about yourself and maybe your career path leading up to kind of where you are today.
Sure. Yeah, no, appreciate it. So my background, I practiced law for about 10 years at a AmLaw 100 firm, exclusively in the gaming industry. Started in, say, 2008, so right around the financial crisis, and we were closing casinos. This was up in New Jersey, and then 2009, 2010, opening casinos in new markets, land-based casinos, that is, in new markets like Pennsylvania and New York and Maryland, Massachusetts. And then online kind of comes around to the U.S. In, say, 2012, 2013 in New Jersey and Nevada. And I really focused my practice there. And fast forward to 2015, I went in-house to PokerStars, which is the largest online poker provider globally. Started as their U.S. regulatory counsel and then grew into a role as their global compliance officer. We have licenses in 25 jurisdictions. We launched PokerStars in a few states in the U.S. After a long hiatus, as well as FoxBet, which was their sports betting partnership with Fox Sports, and did that up until the beginning of 2021 when I left to start Odds On Compliance. And really, Odds On Compliance is a regulatory and compliance technology and consulting firm made up of specialists, experts from the gaming industry and the compliance and regulatory space. So former regulators, former compliance pros at operators, former third-party independent testing lab specialists, really brought that all together to bring unique perspective to this rather uninteresting topic of compliance and regulatory, but it's important and critical, especially in the U.S. sports betting market where things are going on a state-by-state basis.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Maybe it's not exciting to talk about, but it's super important, and the service and things that you guys are doing for the space is much needed. I mean, there's people like myself, and there's many people like me who just don't understand, and really, to be quite honest, don't really want to try to understand all the regulation and compliance and everything that goes around it. Not that we want to ignore it, but it's just there's so much there. And so for you guys, to kind of gather that all and put it all together, explain a little bit about how you've done that with maybe Playbook and some of the things that you guys have launched as part of the company.
Yeah, so Playbook is exactly that. We've basically taken we've aggregated all the statutes, regulations, technical bulletins, advisor opinions, all that information that regulators put out. That's kind of out there in ecosystem. We've kind of put it all together. We've organized it. I mean, it's not just you, Ryan. It's folks who live and breathe compliance day to day, who they struggle. I struggled with this issue at PokerStars, and I know others struggle throughout organizing all this stuff. New states come on board, old states change information. Navigating 30 different regulators' websites is difficult. They all have information in different places. What we've done is we've gone and we've aggregated all that information, organized it, put it all together in a product we call Playbook. Basically adding some search functionality, which is coming in the next 2 weeks. Excited about that to allow people to kind of run cross-state searches and understand kind of the unique features on a state-by-state basis of either operating a sports book or partnering with a sports book. Whether it's licensing questions for marketing affiliates or suppliers or operators, or whether it's technical specification requirements. We've kind of aggregated it all into one place and made it easily searchable.
That's what I love about Playbook is, I mean, there's some companies and some things that you're like, man, what does that really serve? What does that really address? But this really, it's like you found a problem and you're solving that problem. And I don't think anybody can argue if they're in this space that it is a problem to keep up with that stuff. I mean, it seems like it's ever changing, always something new, a new state coming on board, a new bill being signed, a new, licensing fee or something or another in some state, and just keeping up with that is nearly impossible. Explain to me, maybe just some of the challenges you guys have went through trying to do this and make this happen and aggregate this. I mean, I can't imagine trying to keep up with all of this stuff, but just, I don't know, give us a few of the challenges that maybe you guys have seen as you started putting this together.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest challenge we had is identifying the scope of materials that need to go in, and that's kind of where the team of experts that we have at Odds On really were essential to that piece. And then the second piece is maintaining and keeping it up to date, and that's where the technology folks we have, I think, are essential. My co-founder and CTO, he comes not from the gaming space; he comes from outside the gaming space, and I think that's been a real benefit to us looking at these issues from a non-gaming perspective and just practical. How do we solve some of the technological issues around keeping websites up to date, knowing whether things change, and using his background at GE and Volkswagen and other places, specifically in the IT space, has really, I think, benefited us in hopefully solving those technological issues and matching that with the expertise of the gaming team.
Yeah, you mentioned marketing affiliates. You mentioned some other pieces of the industry that might have reasons to use Odds On Compliance and Playbook. Name some of the industry, like professional titles and people that would really may want to think about using something like this. Just give the audience kind of a wider range of like, man, these are the types of people that really could benefit from something like that.
Yeah, I mean, certainly anyone in legal and compliance, is our main targets and our main points of contact. But not every organization is fortunate enough to have a compliance team the size of BetMGM or FanDuel or the big guys. And people wear a lot of different hats. So whether it's the CEO who also reviews all legal contracts and has is signing up relationships with operators, wants to understand some of the regulatory implications of signing that contract, or around licensing requirements, around expectations of regulators. I think certainly the goal of Playbook was to provide an easy enough framework so someone who's not day in, day out living and breathing compliance can still use the site, but at the same time give those people who are day in, day out compliance professionals the tools they need to really focus in on the product and drill in as much as they can.
That's awesome. And I'm pulling up Playbook here and oddsOnCompliance.com as we speak, just so people that are looking can watch. But explain a little bit about how, I guess, the usability. How is it used? Is it a login system? Is it an
Yeah.
app? What's that look like?
So we offer 3 tiers of service. One, you have them right there. The most our highest level is Playbook AI, and that's what we'll be launching in about 2 weeks' time. That is comes with full functionality, search functionality, so you can ask kind of like any Google type question you want, specific to regulations or sports betting or iGaming, iLottery, daily fantasy sports, and the other verticals that we have. You can ask any question you want and get across as many jurisdictions as you want and kind of compare those responses. Our middle tier is what we call Playbook Plus, which has a lot of the enhanced functionality. So if you're looking at an 800-page regulation, we've done a few things. We allow people to kind of take notes, annotate the documents, make sure that share that, collaborate that with their teammates, and share that information across other folks within their organization. We've embedded definitions into these documents, so if there's defined terms, that usually come on pages 1 through 5 of a regulation, and then you're on page 700 down the line. You don't want to be scrolling back to the beginning. We've actually taken all those definitions, embedded them into the remainder of the document, so they're kind of just accessible on hover over when you come across a defined term. Little things like that kind of make day-to-day life easier for folks. We've also added in some insights or kind of quick answers to the typical questions that people ask. And then we're also offering Playbook Basic, which is a free service which allows people to access all the documents, but doesn't really give them any of the bells and whistles that come with the rest of the product.
That's really cool. I love that you have multiple tiers of service. And I'm always thinking, being a content guy, right? I'm in the content space and heavily doing content.
Yeah.
One of the challenges is and I saw it in all 3 packages, but these state pages, right? Updating these state pages that people have and just keeping that information up to date on their state information pages. I can just tell that this product really can help serve that market as well. Just having that information right there for your research needs and just helping keep those up to date. It's such a challenge.
Yeah, definitely, and certainly, no, I appreciate the content difficulties or that come with that, and newfound respect for the folks like you that kind of build a lot of that content day in, day out. So right now we focus specifically on providing state pages as like an easy access on a state by state basis, but at the same time certainly looking in the future to add a lot more in-depth content to state specific pages.
That was you kind of led me into the next question. I wanted to ask, so what's the future look like for you guys? Obviously you're still building out some of this with Playbook, and sounds like you're going to continue developing out to be, the best compliance place to go. What else is in the future? What are you guys looking to do?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, what we are focused on is building technology that will help the industry do a better job complying with their obligations. So, however we can do that, we think Playbook is step one of that, providing all access to all that information. But it's the first step there. There's certainly a lot more we want to build around around licensing efficiencies, around auditing requirements, gap analysis type work that we want to get done. So there's a lot of unique features or a lot of unique ideas that we have and also our clients have. I mean, the other important piece for this is our consulting practice and making sure that whether it's a big operator that wants help launching in new markets or improving their systems internally, or a startup operator or supplier looking to get licensed or looking for assistance in understanding a set of regulations. That's critical to our business as well.
Well, I certainly commend you for taking on such a challenging topic, but I guess with your background and your history, this probably isn't. I wouldn't say isn't challenging, but I commend you for all you've done here with Playbook, and I can tell you, being in the industry and talking to as many people as I talk to in the industry, this is a challenge, and this is something that's needed. And so I'd urge all you guys and ladies and gentlemen that are watching this, get a hold of Eric. Check out oddsOnCompliance.com. See what they can help you with. I know they can help you with something in this space. And so I'd urge you to reach out to Eric. Eric, how would somebody reach out to you or get a hold of you guys?
Yeah, sure. They can, like I said, visit oddsoncompliance.com. You can email me, efrank@oddsoncompliance.com. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, our goal is to help folks, large, small, everything in between, kind of understand and deal with their regulatory issues. It is a challenge for sure, but sadly, it's a passion that I have, and I think my team shares that passion too. So we enjoy what we do, and interestingly, the best part of this is talking to folks coming up with unique product ideas or things that don't fit the black and white of regulation, and helping them understand kind of how scoping arguments, framing arguments to how this fits within frameworks that aren't really built to meet unique, interesting ideas, and helping people through that process.
That's the funny quote of the day. Sadly, it's a passion of mine, right? That's how I feel sometimes too, when people are like, "Why you just love content or what?" I'm like, "Yeah, sadly, it's like what I love. I don't know why." Oh, well, Eric, I appreciate your time here. Any last words? Anything we missed? Anything you wanted to touch on or say to the listeners before we let you go here?
Yeah, no, nothing else. Appreciate again the opportunity, Ron, to join, and look forward to hearing from folks. Appreciate this. Didn't get as much time to talk about as sports as I wanted, but I did watch the Orlando MLS team this weekend get crushed by the Red Bulls, and so it's a rough patch up in Orlando. But
yeah, the MLS is one of the areas here in Orlando that people seem to love. They seem to love their MLS here in Orlando, which I'm not necessarily a soccer guy, but I know many people are, so it's interesting. Hey, I was going to ask you. I know the big Formula One event is coming down your way here in a week and a half or so. Is that something you've gotten into at all? And are you excited for all of the energy and traffic that's going to be coming your way?
Yeah. I think I certainly won't be heading down toward Hollywood and the stadium that weekend. But no, I think it's exciting. I mean, I've seen them building the track, and over the last couple months, when I drive from my home down to Miami, I pass it, and no, I think a lot of good energy around that. It's gonna be cool kind of week and a half of events happening here. So
yeah, a little shameless plug for the Netflix series on F1. I don't know if you've watched it, The Drive to Survive, but man, it's like turned me from I don't even know what F1 is to like I'm a super fan all this. Love the drivers and I love everything about. I did not realize it was such a competitive sport within the team. I did not realize that really, those two drivers for each team they just fight it out, and it makes sense. But I didn't think of that, being such an issue.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know this isn't an F1 talk, but I'm excited for that. I may make it my way down and try to at least just like soak in some of the energy of the event somehow. I don't know. I'm probably asking for trouble by doing that, but you live once, right? Go check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, cool, Eric. Well, I appreciate you. Everybody listening, make sure you reach out to Eric. We'll put all the links. We'll put his email. We'll put the website out in the show notes, so it'll be easy to get to him. Hey, hopefully we'll see you at a show in the near future, maybe one of these U.S.-based shows you're going to be at, I hope.
Yeah, for sure. I'll probably be up in New York in a couple weeks, but yeah, I'm around for
good,
sure.
Eric. Awesome. Sounds good. Take care. We'll talk to you soon, and we'll talk to you next time.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. Take care.
All right. That was Eric Frank, Odds on Compliance. Episode 163 is in the book. Super excited to have you listen to Eric. It seems to be one of the great guys in the industry, doing great things, obviously, with Odds on Compliance. And I urge you to reach out to them if you guys have any needs in that compliance space, whether it be just more research, more information, consulting, whatever it is. Don't come ask me. Come ask Eric, because I'm not going to be able to help you. But anyway, thanks for listening. Really appreciate the support you guys give this show. And if you need anything, I'm Ryan Knuppel at Ryan Knuppel out on LinkedIn, anywhere you can find me. Take care. Until next time, stay safe. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.